Kaizer Chiefs beat Stellenbosch by 1-0, but how did they do it? Well, as it happens, I am going to talk about exactly that. You know why? Because you guys reached 1,500 likes in the previous video. So what do you get? You get an analysis video. We're going to look at the attack, the defense. We're going to look at the substitutes. And I'm saying the substitutes because there's some things that we need to talk about. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I'm Pilo, I'm your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Khosi Football Club. Well, let's start with attack. What were Kaizer Chiefs trying to do? So this is within the first 50 seconds of the game, and you already see what is happening here. Kaizer Chiefs are already coming out guns blazing with this shape. And what happens next is the thing that usually happened in this game, because Lillepo is now in that very good position, but he fails to cross the ball in. But as you would see as the game continues, we are playing with this back three. I have to say, in position. It's not that Chiefs were playing with a back three, but when we had the ball and we're attacking, we changed to a back three, right? So it's that back three, and then there is that staggered. By staggered, I mean one is following the other. Umart and Oktele, they were not standing side by side, but one was standing a bit back and the one was a bit further forward. So in this case, Oktele obviously would be the one who was standing a bit back, because he's the one who's going to help us with the build-up. And up front, you have Lillepo on the right. On the left, you have Modi and Serino and Frosla with the double 10s, interestingly enough. And then obviously pinning the defense back would be Umfanalo Wagomoris. So that would be the shape for the entire game. And as I said, what must be noted is the fact that Oktele was the one who was deeper of the two CDMs so that he can collect the ball. But the problem that we had is this. Our players, they just don't like simplicity. They like complicated things. And as you're about to see, and as you will see in most of the things we'll talk about, here you have Utotli, who has an option of passing the ball to the player on his side, who, if the ball was passed to him, would have had space to run with the ball into. But instead, Dudley decides, let me try the one pass that is more complicated. And he tries the pass to Serino. I understand you're trying to progress the ball, but don't force passes, because now we're under pressure. By the way, you know I'm bringing this up. I'm bringing this up because Dudley did the same thing against Stellenbosch in the return leg. You remember the first game we played, and I said he shouldn't do these things. And against Stellenbosch, he does these things. So I have to question the analyst of the club, Uguti. Why have they not shown him that he's making these kind of mistakes? As solid of a player as he is, he shouldn't be making these mistakes, especially not over and over again, especially if they're also obvious. Now, let's go back here, because then you will see over again that Ubvuma has an option to pass the ball to Oktele. Mind you, the system is still the same. It's just that what is happening here is that the players who are executing the system are not doing what they're supposed to do. Oktele is there collecting the ball, but on top of that, you will see something. Do you see Mart? You see that Mart and Ditlokwe have that space, so the ball could easily get chipped to them, because one could argue Tsele is marked. So chip the ball over there where there is Ditlokwe and Mart, but no, the keeper decides to go direct. And not even to Morris. He goes direct and the ball goes to Serino, who is not very great aerially. They win the ball back, and now all of a sudden they are marking us. But what I like about what happens next is the fact that Chiefs are then just on their case, pressing the team that we're playing against. Here's again another situation where we're transitioning, because here we're moving from the back four, which is what we start with, into the system that we want to play. So what I want you to note here is the positioning of Morris. So there's a difference between what Morris does and what the wingers do. The wingers stretch the defense, but Morris pins the defense. So Morris makes sure that the defense are not moving forward, because they will know that there is danger of a striker who's just standing there. And if you take note of this here, you see that Morris is the one who's taking the defenders with him, and in him doing that, he now opens that whole gap in the middle. And in him opening that gap in the middle, that means there's space to play passes that will not be intercepted by defense Stellenbosch. But then again, we have the same problem. We have the ball here, simple. Sereno is overlapping behind you, but what does Modi do? He gives the ball away cheaply. it's sad to see because, my opinion of the game was very different before I watched this. The structure of the team and everything, especially in defense, which is what we're going to talk about later on, is very great. But it's these decisions that I'm not satisfied with. As much as I'm happy with the system of the coach, the decision making of the players is not make sure. So anyways, there we go. Yavulilepo plays the ball in midfield into the center. And once again, what I just said, which was negative about Tumod, you're about to see the positives of him being there. Because what is happening here is tactical discipline. Because for another player, what he would think in the situation is the ball is central. Maybe let me move closer. But no, he doesn't. He stays there. And that is him being tactically disciplined. Because now the right back, Uyagans, has to now be worried about him and not move across towards the center backs where the pressure is, but now he has to stay wide. And in that way, now the defense, look at how big the gaps are. A coach like Steve Barker will not appreciate this because Lilepo is holding the width on the right, Modi is holding the width on the left. So now the defense is split, and that is why Usirino can now find a pass like this behind for Ulilepo. But then again, as I said, we end up making a mess out of that. But we're not there. We're trying to look at the positives. Yeah. Now, if you continue looking at this, you'll then see that Chiefs here, Umar is the one who's closer, and someone, I plan to say this. If someone asks you, what is Kaizer Chiefs' style of play under Nasreddine Nabi? Tell him he likes to form a back three of defenders at the back who are going to help build up, a two in midfield to help us progress the ball, and the two skillful wingers to dribble, the two double tens to help us with finishing and creation, and also a striker who's pinning the defenders back. I did not say that as well as I wanted to. But anyways, there we are, building the ball from the back, a skillful winger taking on people, but then he loses the ball. But what's important is that after losing the ball, let me just go back because I want this to be seen. You see that we have the ball here. We are attacking with a skillful winger who takes on people, Ulilepo in this case. He loses the ball and he counter presses immediately and he wins the ball back, and now all of a sudden we are in a good situation. Now this is a different attack. Modi this time starts the attack, but then in this case, as I said, we start with the back three, but sometimes Utitlokwe can add numbers in going forward, and this was one of those cases. And in him doing that, he exposes, it's not negative, Guti sucks, no, but he exposes one of his weaknesses, which is when he gets to the final third, sometimes he doesn't know what to do because he's not that great when going forward, but we get a lot more when he's just staying in the back three in any case. So this is not a train smash. We can always organize in such a way that he stays back and the person who's supporting Umodi out wide is Usirino, as we saw in the previous clip. Right, so now there we are, Kaizer Chiefs once again with the ball. Yeah guys, so this sequence started on the 48th minute, right? Chiefs playing the ball, losing it until the 52nd minute. We're just playing, losing. It was just, I had the entire 4 minutes of the clip just recorded to show you, Guti, there are so many good things at Chiefs, but we are not there yet. That's why we cannot get overexcited with these results. But what we can be excited about is the fact that now there is a clear identity. Now there's something that Nabi is actually cooking and we can look at. But things like this make you see, okay, there's still a long way to go because we are losing balls in those situations. Now, here's another thing that we need to address as well. Here you have, we had just had, wow, it sounds wrong. We had a break before this moment, right? So after the moment, the players are still talking to each other. That's our entire front three talking to each other. The goalkeeper and Miguel are trying to play a goal kick, and now those guys are just there together, as you can see. And Vuma gets pissed off. He's just shouting at them. And as a result of this, Miguel gets a yellow card for time wasting because those guys were not organized in time. And you can see he's not even complaining to the ref, but he's complaining to the guys who are not moving into the correct position. Now, we need to move on and talk about our defense, because that is one area that I think that Chiefs have been doing very, very well. And here we are. Chiefs playing the ball, not playing the ball, pressing. Look at this. Look at the chasing. Look at how fast we are closing down and we get to the ball first, but we are not even talking about the structure yet. Now I'm just looking at how good the players were even when we're out of position and how much better the team can actually be if every game we play like this, because we are constantly putting pressure on Stellenbosch, preventing them from playing the ball. Now, as you can see here, Ucele, this is tactical awareness 101. He sees that his defender Utitloko moves across, moves across to engage Titus. And now what does it do? He goes to his position, he intercepts the ball, and now we start the attack from there. And here we are. This is the way that Kaizer Chiefs presses. We press in this 4-4-2 shape, whereby the 10 and the 9 will be the ones to first engage the press of the team that we're playing against. And if they are playing with a center-back pairing of 2, then we're going to definitely keep the 2 guys pressing forward. But on top of that, we're going to have the midfielders ready to jump in case the ball goes any side. As you can see, at the early stages of the build-up, you have the goalkeeper of Stellenbosch, the 2 centre-backs, and then one of the defensive midfielders and Umtaga on the left. So it's 4 versus 6. What choice do they have? They can't possibly play the ball from this position. So what choice did we leave them with? Of course, we left them with only one choice, and that was to go long, because we blocked every passing way and they just said to go long. But once again, with that secret, Frosler was committed, everyone was committed to making sure that when the ball was played long, they couldn't get to us. And once again, when they tried to play the ball long, either we're there or they just played it to an offside person, because we're very organized. Now, once again, you see the 2 being the first ones to press, and then the other 4 being the next ones to press. So once again, how many Stellenbosch players do you see in that picture? Like, you have 2 defensive lines of Chiefs. You have the 2, which is the 10, Usireno and Umoris, and then you have the 4 behind them. How many Stellenbosch do you see? The keeper, the 3 defenders, and well, if you count Umtaga, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 versus 4. Versus 6, that's a problem. You can't deal with us, so we're going to press you again, because we are more than you and we can afford to commit an extra man, sometimes committing a foul. But the shape, we kept the shape. And if you beat one line, the second line was ready to jump in, Abomart with the tackles, and we were ready to then start a counter from that situation, but then they were just not materializing. Again, same thing again here. You have the same shape, and we're able to push Stellenbosch to go long, and if they go long, our defenders were ready to jump in. Over and over again, you dribble past one of us, you play the ball wide. What do? We are ready, we are well positioned. I loved the defensive performance of Kaizer Chiefs more than their offensive one, because we're winning the ball back. Here's another thing that I loved. You see Yusuf Mart here. The usual Yusuf Mart that you know, in this case, he wants to hit that ball with his left foot because there's someone who's running in behind. But he realizes that he can't play that ball, so he just plays the ball across. And I know someone will say, just play the ball long, but he cannot play the ball long. Why do you want him to force the pass? He shouldn't force the pass. That's what I was saying with Totally earlier. Don't force passes and then end up being in a situation that you can't control. Now, Stellenbosch kept on trying this long ball, but it was never going to work, because either Modi is coming to track back and win the ball back, and we start a counter from that situation, or our defenders were just good at pressing and winning the ball back. This is the 51st minute, Abo Modi there pressing. Here's another thing I want to address. Did not want to make it too many subtopics, but Ubvuma, I've been accused of not liking Ubvuma for whatever reason. I'm the one who was saying Vuma should be the keeper the other time. Not this year. But anyways, we're not there. Where we are is, here's the ball. Let me just go back a bit. So this is the ball played long by Stellenbosch. They play the ball and it gets here. Look at Miguel. He's waiting for the keeper to come out. The keeper comes out and then he goes back. The communication needs to be better. The goalkeeper is the one who's commanding that 18 area, so he must see the ball that he can get to. He mustn't be told by the players to come out. He should see that that ball is in my 18 area, that ball I can get to. But what we just saw in this clip is him hesitating to come out and get the ball. But lucky for us, we're able to win the ball. It's the second half, we're still pressing the same way, and Stellenbosch are still trying to do the same things. But I slowed it down here. I want to show you Morris. Beautiful things that Morris does. Slowed it down. Look at how he's running. He runs and he starts by blocking the pass to the keeper first to force the defender Utore to play the ball and go into that area. But when he goes there, he knows that who is there. Let's look. It's only Chiefs players. You see that, right? So he forced him to go to that area. This is called a trap. He traps him. He forces him to go to that area. Now we've won the ball back, and now we are countering. And here, Lollipop, just play the ball across. That's what I thought. I was like, play the ball across, mate. He didn't. He decides to shoot from that angle. Get out of here. And once again, you have Morris here, just counter pressing. Here we're in the Morris zone, and he wins the ball back, and now the team is now attacking once again. And you know what I love about my team, we're able to win the ball back, but then we lose it, but then we win it. You see, it's like yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Once again, we have the ball, we play it, we lose it, we win it immediately. It's just crazy how much we have improved defensively, but we're still struggling defensively, and those are the areas that we obviously need to address. Like this one again, you see what's happening here. Mtaga plays the ball long, the keeper is slow to come out, and one more second of that confusion. Play that, do that against a striker like Ikram Reyners or Mahopa. You will get punished because those ones are always there on you. So we need to improve these things. Communication between the goalkeeper and the defenders needs to be better than this. Because as you can see, we knew that Stellenbosch were outnumbered at the back. That's why we're able to win balls like this and start counters like that. And you'll find people saying that, oh, Chiefs is a counter-attack team. Okay, Maninik, let's say Chiefs' game plan is to press the ball and win it back. No one complains when Liverpool did that under Klopp. No one complains when any other team does that. Like Gasperini with Atalanta, that's what he does. He marks man for man everywhere in the pitch. It's not about him playing the ball out from the back and going to score. But whoever is playing against, whenever they have the ball, he's there pressing them, winning the ball back and scoring from those opportunities. And this is not even a counter. A counter is if maybe we are attacking us and then you are in our half, like then we counter, we attack you from there. That's the one that I classify as teams that are defensive, that sit in a low block and allow you to come to them and then they attack you. Here what we see Kaizer Chiefs doing is they've pushed up their line. The game against the Pirates were more in the middle and we're pressing in that situation, and then we're able to win the ball back and try to make things happen. But we're never sitting back. We're not sitting back against Pirates, we're not sitting back against Amazulu, and we're especially not sitting back against Stellenbosch because we pushed that line even further up and we're trying to win the ball even earlier. By the way, if you're still interested in that game, Pirates, you guys are going to let me know. You know how you let me know that you want me to make a video. 1,500 likes, because I don't know whether it's too far away because we played it that other week. And if you are interested in that video still, 1,500 likes on this video, and then I will make it to show how Chiefs actually played in that game compared to how they played in this game. Anyways, we need to go back. So here we have the Chiefs again, still pressing, 74th minute. Look at Sirino again. You remember what I said about Morris earlier on, forcing the team that we are playing against to go a certain way? By the way, please make sure to like the video. I've already said that. 1,500 likes. Anyways, yeah, so here is Sereno, right? Look at how he's pressing. He's encouraging this player to play the ball down the line because look who's here, our players. But then he doesn't do it to his full ability because at this point he was tired, and then the guy just plays the ball back to the central areas. But overall, if we look at this other chance that Stellenbosch get, they get a chance, the ball is played over because our press was not good. But look at Frosler. Frosler usually would be just jogging around and not doing his job, but here, tactical discipline and awareness. He sees that Miguel has gone out to cover him, so now he goes out and he covers Miguel. Something that usually hasn't been happening. That hasn't been happening, but here it happens. Now the ball is crossed because Miguel wasn't tight enough. And then finish, Ditloko is there, throwing his body on the line. And now this is a proper counter-attack from our box, and now we're starting to go after them. So the other thing that also happened here is this is another situation where we have a counter. The ball is played by Frosler, and once again Modi play the ball across, mate. What does it do? He chooses to blast it. I do not know what we are ever going to do about this selfishness, but I wanted to give a shout out to our players once again, because this is on the 89th minute. Look at them. The shape is still held, the press is still there. It's impressive to me how far and how much these guys were pressing and were playing this game. Now let's go to the subs. Now with the subs, I'm going to be a bit negative and positive, so just brace yourself. The first thing that I didn't like about the subs, well, the first one that I did like is that the coach made necessary subs. People are obsessed with substitutes. If a game is going well enough for the coach and he can see that the team is solid, the team is still pressing according to the plan, there is no need to make changes, because you make changes and then you destabilize a certain aspect of the game. Take for example, you take off Ucele. Ucele is there helping the team to control the tempo of the game and is already warm to the game. You bring on, say, Usamgelo Zwane, who's a very good footballer, but he comes in and is not ready for the game, is not warmed up yet. He gets in, even though he warmed up, but you know, there's a difference between warming up out there and actually being in the game. He gets in, he makes a mistake, we lose the game. So it doesn't mean that just because there are 5 available subs, you should use any of them. You use the subs, one, because you have a tactical plan that you are trying to implement. You use the subs because you are trying to refresh the players, because there are some tired legs, like we saw with Morris, like we saw with Ulilepo. But you don't just make subs just because the fans want to see Mfundo Vilakazi. And we're going to talk about why he actually didn't play in this game. Now, let's go back to the subs. So what I don't like here is you see the coach talking to Mtu Shabalala, right? Ready to bring him on. But behind him, you see Tebogo Potsane. He is sitting down and is being told to now get in and play. My question is, the coaches thought, let's put on Mtu Shabalala. Wait. But you know what? Let's also bring on Upotsane. And this thing happens a lot. I see it at stadium. They call one player, he's getting ready to play. And then they call another player and I'm like, why did you not just see those two? Because you are watching the game and you can see, okay, the winger is tired, or we need something different from the wing position. I don't like this. And by the way, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Nabi sucks, he should be fired. No. I'm saying this has to stop. This second guessing of themselves should not happen, because eventually, as you will see, then these two guys are coming on together, because Mtu Shabalala was coming on to play as a false 9. And this is why, by the way, Vilakazi didn't play. You see how they just clattered to Lollipop in this case. They clattered to him here. The game was physical overall, and it's not just here. Here they push him, supposed to be a penalty, but okay, and he's injured once again. They just, look, that's a penalty, but it was not given. Why was it not given? Because if the penalty for Urele was given, why was this one not given? Why was this penalty not given? Tell me. We won the game, yes, but why was this penalty not given? He clearly pushes him on the face, but we're not giving this penalty. Why? Because he's wearing gold and yellow. I mean gold and black. Come on, switch on. But the game was physical, because you see, even Gwabo Sirino, there were situations whereby he was getting pushed around, and Abo Lilepo as well, as you can see there, his face, and here Sirino is being pushed around. Mfundo was going to struggle. And Ulilepo, guys, you asked for this. I remember after the game, people were saying to me, Mpilo, Lilepo was supposed to be made a number 9 because Ranga didn't give us anything. The problem with that, you forced Lilepo to play out of position, which is what the coach did, but then he was tired. And he was getting kapat. They were just playing him. They were playing rough, right? But most importantly, he is tired. He's new to the league. He's new to the team. And you want him to play the whole 90 minutes. What's going to happen is the player is going to end up asking for to be subbed, because you guys are not taking him off. So he ended up being taken off. I don't like it, by the way, when it seems like our coach is listening to what the fans are saying, because I even heard it from his interviews, like, it's a process, but some people don't believe that, blah blah blah, talking about the fans who are negative about him. But it's clear to me that Nabi is listening to the fans way too much. He shouldn't be doing that, because as much as he knows that some of the fans are clueless, the problem is he's hearing it and it's factoring into his decision making. So he should just close himself off and not listen to what people are saying. So there you have it. Lilepo gets out, and I hope that this was not a serious injury, because after the game I did see him running around celebrating, but in this case he was then just taken off. Uklodi Lilepo and Uplom came on, and I know after the game there was going to be someone who was going to say, you're bringing on Plom and we are playing against Stellenbosch, why are you scared? No, it wasn't being scared, it was just trying to consolidate the game. Plom to Shabalala as a false nine, and then play Plom as basically a backup to Utitloko on the left side. But what did you guys make of the game? Do let me know down on the comment section below, and remember to just like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals at Pelumoy. Ooh, fish.